require you to live?
No.
Is this working? I don't know if this is working. Only one way to find out.
You can't do that. No, I'm not giving you civilization kill. Let go of me. Fuck you. I will legit go back to that rock. No! Okay. It feels weird seeing her die like that. Feels weird. I don't know why.
Retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition.
That's...
Yes, this was a fine idea.
Ah! So it is working! Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see here. What happens if I turn up my gain?
Remember, look for the hatch noise. It will make a noise when you get close to it.
Everything's in place and they've taken the
Everything's in
Stop
place and they've
running
taken
in
the bait.
Now to start reeling them in.
I think using mouse and keyboard is not her best suit. I know! You gotta give her a chance. You should have gave her another chance.
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch
Why
it.
do I sound so quiet on the mic?
I mean, screw you. I mean, you always sound quiet. Shut up! I'm about to kill Genevieve.
Okay, let's try 4.
Shut up.
Okay, I seriously don't know if gain is my actual volume or not. Oh wait, I think it is.
Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in.
Okay, what about 10? Oh yeah, that works. Now then. With 10 being my gain, let's try 15. Okay, 15. I can hear my mouse. Ew. Ew, turn it down.
No.
Turn it back down. Okay, so going back to 10. I can still hear my mouse.
I'm sure I've forgotten something.
I'm pretty sure it'll be
Otherwise, I
fun.
could instantly send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
Welcome to the internet. Take a look around. Everything you can find is something with a frown. Oh, and my chat thing's working. Yay!
Nice.
Everything's coming together like it should be.
Genevieve said, "Nuh-uh."
I swear to God.
I have to stifle a smile every time I
What
remember the
God?
look on
There's
my
no
parents'
God.
faces when I
Shut
Only
up.
God
revealed
you'd be
my plans for
serving
them.
is Barbados.
Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in
And
opposition.
Jenny said you're stinky.
Yes, this was a fine idea.
Thanks.
And, and Jenny said she stole your car. For some reason. I think she.
Uh-huh.
And she drove it to Dragon's house.
Hmm.
And gave Dragon the car.
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I
Uh-huh.
remember what it was.
I'm at your mom's house.
I don't believe you.
Genevieve, he said he doesn't believe you.
Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in.
Alright, hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ah.
Listen, I played my Albert. Let's girl play. No, Albert. Lady
I'm
Demetrius
sure I've
role play.
forgotten something.
You
Not to
scared the
worry, I'll
crap out
simply
of.
send someone to fetch it.
What
As soon as I
do
remember
you mean?
what it was.
What do you mean?
Ah.
Oh, I Natalie's. Can we always heal? Can I always heal her? Oh yeah, I can't heal her.
Alright.
Welcome back.
have to stifle a smile every time I remember plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea.
Oh shit. Maybe. Maybe. Fuck off.
No. I don't think I
Man,
will.
I'm waving
Sure,
you.
I've forgotten something.
Stay out of the green
Not to
circle.
worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
It brings out her twin. Bitch, I see you.
Alright. Let's get it started here. Let's get it started, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody. Everybody. Oh, what are you laughing about?
Nothing. Your mom.
You know you can't rebuke everything with your mom, right?
Yeah, I know. I told. It's the only response I know.
Look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today.
You know that I'm not good with combat, and I can't say why I'm laughing or else.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're not good with combat or comebacks. You are correct.
at least I try though.
Try harder.
I do. Why would you go away? No, you're not. I don't believe you. No. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, fuck you.
Okay.
Get away from me. Go away.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. From here on out, I'm having my Discord muted.
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. I really hope that this mic. I don't understand this mic half the time. Because I thought I had
Stifle a smile
the
every time
noise
I remember
suppression up all the way.
people's faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but
Honestly,
unable to muster the courage to
actually,
say
hold on.
anything in opposition.
I know I shouldn't be messing with this on stream, but I need to figure this out. Okay, I don't know if that actually helped or not. But I'm just gonna
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
I'm just going back to 30. Alright.
Hello there. Huh? I'm fine. Oh, okay then. We just noticed about many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just. You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in the water? Though people call the waters around Fontaine a sea, it's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, we would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone, but now, the water is It won't be long before it's...
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and...
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your
Payment is
sister.
payment.
Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
Hold on, I think I'm gonna have to turn up my game sound. It's hard because I've been trying to find like a good balance between
I see.
the two.
It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is? I also think my brother can be too talkative.
See?
So, what did Lynette mean just...
Oh, that. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies that where to begin.
I don't know, where do we begin?
Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still...
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have.
Oh, alright then. Well, by the way, We were just getting ready to go to the opera house to meet the Hydro Archon.
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the opera house late. Please, follow me.
Oh, were you now? Hmm? Although I might have to turn up my dialogue volume, probably.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
There, I'll put it at 5.
You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well...
Hey.
So, she's the Hydro Archon?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu.
Does anyone actually have a cup?
As you can all see, 2 unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and his companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Am I gonna get arrested?
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you left in your wake as you visited other nations, but I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner. I, Thosalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes. But the Hydro Archon's entrance was,
A little over the top.
describe it?
Yeah.
A little over the top? Miss Hydro Archon? How did you know we were coming?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities.
Nuh-uh.
You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
Oh, it's the dude from the team. I remember him. That dude was at the bazaar.
Whoa,
Eavesdropping.
talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming.
Is she? Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. What a surprise! Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not notice before?
Oh no, not the legendary blonde traveler.
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to personally see him.
Ooh, I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina would never disappoint.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, you may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler for—
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Fighting gods, I've got a resume.
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a duel against the divine?
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Oh god, is that what she sounds like? Oh yes, I want her now.
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. He is obviously a true warrior.
So let me get this straight. If you heard my stories, obviously you should have heard the fact of, oh, I don't know. I literally went toe-to-toe with the righted shogun.
Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor. I'm getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see. Then, as the god of justice, I shall face this traveler in another kind of duel. A duel in court!
Oh,
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. It's such a grand opera house. It would be a...
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
And we haven't committed any crimes.
Oh, according to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty of violating this law.
Are they
man.
seriously gonna...
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong. That's our Lady Farina.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object? You mean Paimon?
Precisely. Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name—
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
You tell her, Linny! Finally someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
Ah, great magician Linny, my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a meme where it said that... I forgot what it was, but it was the Archons and that... Something about how they solved their nation's problems, and it was written who was the problem, and then it went to Farina who wants to start a problem. That is quite literally, she wants to start a problem.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got.
I thought it was pretty.
Huh? I'm not sure what to think. It seems.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you.
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
It's a very, honestly, with the way that Farida runs the show, it's a very perverted way of looking at the court system.
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travel, but even the gods of other lands.
I call Venti to the stand.
I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
Not gonna lie though. Was kind of a lowball calling Paimon a floating object.
Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. I never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually. So, now do you see what kind of god lady?
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. It sounded like you'll be performing.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held?
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of you to see my performance?
My brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have something. You really mean it? This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
What are they going to use it for?
About that. You asked me before about the. I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine?
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia.
Ew!
But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only...
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the...
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine...
Many places have already been completely submerged.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, as a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day!
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. Now, if you'd like to help, then please...
Sorry, I really like to skip a lot of these dialogue.
So you're the blonde traveler. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. Thanks. Please, also thank the magician on my...
What's this? So you also believe...
What? You mean...
No, I believe in the prophet. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one, but as time wore on, so... If you...
Oh, we had...
All right, I'll take it.
Boat.
Huh? I don't want... Life is all about...
You just...
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that...
I'm really sorry, guys. I can't handle this loud noise.
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard yes, but that...
Is there anything else?
Yes, one...
So, you want to collect materials?
Oh, that would be much appreciated. Well...
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect maritime flowers.
Gosh darn it. Wait, what am I doing? I am Hydro. Imagine forgetting.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced. Maybe next time you'll...
No way.
Fine.
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's obviously... Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're reading. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps you two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route. All right, let's go.
Boba tea. God, I forgot how long this elevator was.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also... Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's...
How long will it take if I set out?
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing any.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you. Anyway, I should be going.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he...
Oh, did you get...
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact,
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our
you're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all
What
right
is
in the end,
slippery
though.
little
All
thiefy
right,
weefy?
let's put
Shut
this little
the shut up. Shut up, Paimon.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious...
This is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the.
So you mean it's still boring, even when I'm...
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older bro...
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Hey.
Oh, excuse me! Aren't you the great magician, Linny?
Hello. I don't believe we've.
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet?
Amazing! You recognize everybody almost...
I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's who, would I? Wow, today must be my day. Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some...
So, Charlotte, what do you usually
Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the op. You could still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my time. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well,
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
that's right. These stories are the talk of the town right now, And it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird, oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't.
So, what is the serial disappearances?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen.
Oh no.
Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that...
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserve... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the...
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Just please don't.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
I mean, Fontaine's got some nice pizzazz, but it's not everything, though. Is that a time trial? Oh god, it is. Good song.
Well, I really enjoyed chatting.
Yeah, us as well.
I have an interview to...
Okay.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by...
What a tough job. Always running around.
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first?
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is...
It's weird. I know that Fontaine's supposed to be based off of France, but like, I don't know, it's just nothing really screams French to me. It's also like half like steampunk as well.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go?
Oh, they all just went out.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh.
Lenny, could you come here for...
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take these to the...
Why was he running like that?
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear in some...
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the...
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, when I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be... Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or...
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be...
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do, Lin?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you...
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all!
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, no need!
No problem, Fremy. I'll get it done for you.
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made?
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making...
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth... No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them, but they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems...
Wow. So...
I can't say for sure, but who knows?
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology.
But where does a big machine
well... It's a little complicated, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced...
Huh? How can trials...
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to...
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to make... But... Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into...
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way, besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now...
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking...
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month? Why are you hounding me now?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today.
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the material.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, Why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrere of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
Oh god, not the ginger. Ed Sheeran, please, I told you. Just leave me alone.
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
I don't think that's quite the, phrasing you wanna give to him, because, last time I checked, he took out a whole factory of ruined guards.
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said—
Hey! That's way over the line! Alright, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Go ahead, all yours.
I'm sure this won't take long.
Ow.
Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First time, Paim?
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
I don't have a vision, so don't ask me.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait!
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to... But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is...
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it?
What did you awaken? Like, bruh.
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon. So why don't you just go ask your master?
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some...
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered
What? More work for the
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever—
Official champion duelists?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But and the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been official. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face—
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name—
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for now. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Oh, Tartaglia, you Rizmeister, you.
He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, seems we don't have much to do for now. Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer. Sorry. The whodunit's here and fun. It's so exciting to reach the moment. Oh, hey. Lenny said that the Opera House
No, teleport waypoint. Speaking of which, oh, I only have 11.
Now this is fancy! The opera? Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a...
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary Lenny asked...
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to...
I see. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element.
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro element?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what?
Just answer me.
When Paimon's really sad? Oh,
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense... Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually... So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you would...
Rather than worrying about them, we should... Don't let that calm look of his fool...
Oh, right.
Vache, vache. I was half expecting baguette, baguette. Oops. Baguette, baguette. Enrico Vasoli. Did you put your name in the calzone fire? I did not, I did not, I did not. Honestly, I kind of hope that Natlin is just Italy. I would kill for that. Yeah, look, chat, listen. If Natlin does become Italy, I will be spending the rest of my life in Natland. I swear.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon. Good to see you.
Are you kidding?
But you're actually right on time. The audience still has...
Versace, Versace.
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your...
Ooh, front rows.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep...
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead. Oh, these should be our seats. Come on.
Oh, hi, Novelli.
Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still, it's kinda awkward. You little...
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So let's go. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to
Oh, so you're not friends with Linney then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon, nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce—
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet?
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is.
No, we
Allow me
don't.
to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression.
Oh, sup, little gremlin.
So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now...
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait!
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do.
Show me, Lenny.
Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Bravo, bravo. Such a beautiful performance.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that to appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been
Guess you're right.
Thank you everyone. But our magical journey has only just begun. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette, in which case, I have ample time to make all. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will eat. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as you don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may... If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meripede.
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 50...
60! 59!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other...
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting and merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be 40, 39, 30...
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lily doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't... 25! 20!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds.
19!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be 10 seconds and change is till...
10!
Almost there now.
8!
Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What happened?
Oh my.
Huh? Is this part of the Mr. Linney, you're going to use magic.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linney's... Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank. which then caused the taint. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowl in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the... And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing...
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen. Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald face.
That can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even hear it besides! Before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching himself!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates? And that you are pressing
Probably.
charges?
Wait, does that mean that we're gonna be charged?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel, but with Linney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting
It wasn't a...
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such...
A trial is in order.
Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well.
Objection.
The trial will be
Nuh-uh.
held a day from now in
What do
the
you
Opera
mean,
House.
nuh-uh?
Both sides may investigate the scene to build... Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects, and the audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the...
A day isn't that long. Let's see what comes.
Linney!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I understand? Even I'm not sure what happened, so I can only imagine how difficult it is. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mystery. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
Paimon, you look
Don't worry,
like an
Paimon used
idiot.
her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
You look like you're a member of the bourgeoisie.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Shut up, Lynette.
Good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
I call Yunfei to the stands.
Since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover... We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards and...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cowell. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping... As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene, and however, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good for...
Well, you can't say we're...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the...
God, I didn't sign up to play Among Us. Among Us!
Whoever the murderer was, why would it be? So this is the rope that broke... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of Wait! Why don't you write all this down?
Wait, so you're telling me that Paimon wasn't gonna write any of this down at all? Imagine.
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members are currently considered prime suspect. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's... Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her... The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grief. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of...
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other...
Okay, then...
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, it is of utmost importance.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Now, I'm not one of the very much knowledgeable kind of criminal investigation, but so you're telling me that you think that it's a serial disappearance case just because girls of the same age have been disappearing? I mean, okay, I understand that it sort of looks like a serial murder case, but you're also not really taking into fact and consideration, unless it's already implied. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know how criminal justice works, but I will say this: has anyone bothered to consider copycat killers?
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector?
Also, something else about what the other dude said. You're not supposed to release that type of information. Especially during criminal cases. Because here's the thing. Yes, you're gonna publish it anyway, but still though, until the investigation is under wraps, you should not be handing out information all willy-nilly like that.
You're trying to help them?
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had to—
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether— In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very—
That much checks out. Linny reserved—
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it—
Like, I don't mean to rag on the Fontaine justice system, but there's so many flaws.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads,
We don't have too many thoughts.
then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud? Oh, you mean this—
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but it's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice, Lynette perhaps, jumping atop the water tank, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank—
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind Paimon the—
That is well, actually, I didn't even notice it. Well, it's because it was targeted toward the box, so I thought, oh, you know, this is just... But it made a little oopsie. Or not what it...
When he's still talking to the guards, I think someone will be assigned to monitor.
Not when but Lenny hit probably hit his head or something, I don't know.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of—
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
Who?
From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
Oh, you're
I'm
the
Sylvia,
Alice in
your
Wonderland
attendant.
chick.
Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are...
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What can...
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor...
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is...
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an
Really? We think so too! That's why we're... But...
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that.
Sounds more like you just don't trust...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Now, Paimon, you do have to realize, you know, she did hesitate when he did bring up that point.
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that...
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial?
Well...
And why would that be? See, so...
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I, too, think that no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may... That if that can be done...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your... Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become...
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that you wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances.
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks.
No.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the opera... No, we're not leaving. We're Were you always guarding this?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo... So, the missing girl couldn't have left... I doubt there was much opportunity.
How can you be so...
Well, because I was in charge of... I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as we Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you...
So, it's safe to... Alright, thank you for your help.
Did we check? Oh.
Everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going.
Probably not good.
Understood.
I'm
Then
not
I
an
will be
alibi.
going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and make.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got... Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join?
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specific. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the method.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still...
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the... See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right.
I see. So...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley.
So that's how you...
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of... The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a...
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only...
So that's how it all worked!
I'm going to have to look at that cutscene again.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the... And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being... But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member.
We really don't know how that...
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured... And yet, to think that someone was able to use... Could we have a look around? I think we...
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air.
Thanks, everyone.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end
of a rope? Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is, let's...
Oh, there's some broken vase.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
No duh.
Speaking of which, why would there be...
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip and here's a broken vase. Huh.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish.
Let's...
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing. Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that? Ugh. This is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Wait a minute. Paimon, your glasses. Oh my god, that's adorable. She still has her glasses off. El Vento.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have...
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up.
Shouldn't there be an actual entryway, though?
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some
Charges and then trial. So if the
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. That's right. This is how the statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimony... To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The resultant...
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette...
in practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is... yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place.
Huh? What?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons...
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might find outside help to disrupt... And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon
course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balance.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon was...
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Carrara, please, I beg of you.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
These three are quite the interesting...
It must be a her type of thing.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself! Beating the egg...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, but anyway, give these a try.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a no need for concern.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, however, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied it. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course. But
exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing—
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is—
True. None of the clues we found but the only people left to consider are both technically victims.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick, nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with
Were we not thorough enough? From the sound of things, this is turning into an— Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great!
They are my specialty.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only count—
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might...
No. Being greedy is one thing. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. Maloose, set up the stove again if—
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course?
Exactly.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well...
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to— I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest it would be awkward if you—
All right, thanks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find it.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
Am I not done with the first thing yet? Oh my god, it's so long. I'm not even done with Act 1. Why?
Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case.
I just want to be done with this already, man.
Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in.
As Kamisato Aito, I hereby pronounce not guilty.
The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects, besides, I doubt Farina understands.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did...
To be honest,
No. We're already very grateful that...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation... That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence, but don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Yeah, just
Since
you
both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Objection, Your Honor. Objection. Objection. Irrelevancy to the case. Irrelevancy to the trial.
No wonder they did something like...
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with...
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Overworked college student.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor?
In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more profession. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for...
Ugh.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry,
Yeah. Paimon doesn't know where to start. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you... Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but...
I'm very sorry. I know I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the words, but our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities.
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people... I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could be... That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even... You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, but still, I'm asking you to trust me.
Sorry. Please.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer.
Of course. I'll answer it. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver set? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the cord—
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to— which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so after that, the homicide occurred.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophecy.
That's the only way we can save
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you—
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh?
Oh boy. Ahem. Your Honor.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use the evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced, and what he saw.
Okay, that part is true.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
As for that would be close. No, never mind. Okay.
Linny did not...
Oh! It would be this.
Linny went to the...
Attention! Ace, when the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Yeah. I made one mistake. Until I realized that I literally just had to make it into the way it was told to us.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing—
Oh, that?
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during— This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
person involved?
I feel like Oh, okay.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member.
So it is Cowl? Question mark?
The
How?
deceased's name is Cowell.
That can't be right. The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to
I'm so confused.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into... No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to... The deceased's name is Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So
Oh, I didn't realize there were questions up here. Alright, who is the prime suspect currently? Well, it's
Linny
Linny.
was not in the tunnel at that moment. No one entered or left the
What? How can we envisage Linny as having been able to interfere with the crime?
It would have been tough for both people.
Okay. How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel?
The sound we heard may have come from...
Sound we possibly heard. Prime suspect
The
is
deceased's
currently
name is
Cowell. Well,
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
okay, so we got two of it right. I'm not understanding what envisage is. Hold on. Envisage meaning. Contemplate or conceive of as a possibility of a desirable future event. Okay, so with that information, I would assume that it would
Halsey's
have to
clothing
be
was in the
this.
tunnel.
The last one.
It would have been tough for both people.
No. Oh my god, I suck at this.
Linny was not in the tunnel at... Linny was not in the tunnel at... No one entered or left...
I don't get this game half the time. I really don't. For some reason, I just really struggle with how they have things structured.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's and—
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the—
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. The vase was not broken by chance.
Oh, I see. The game intentionally had it.
It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only... If there's a similar method where a person...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny, all magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the
You
scope
can do
of
it.
our investigation
Oh,
is nothing but a
thanks.
tactic for
I'm
stalling
sorry,
the
I
trial.
didn't notice you. I feel bad. I don't know how long you've been there.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceit.
God's gotta be.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be... We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of... As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just...
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, Let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't... Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordials.
The deceased's name is Cowell. Linney's...
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water.
To control the timing.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Hide the mechanism behind the crime.
I remember there was something else.
I feel like that's what he used to hide it. So that means the item probably was the rope.
The rope that held the water tank up.
Oh, we were so close. Alright. It's the
Now it
grappling
seems
hook.
like the hook rope.
We did it. My investigative check actually was an 18 this time instead of a nat 1.
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use.
Huh. That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Yes. Take that, Farida.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linney's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, now what does this not? My dear citizens, my loyal audience.
Objection? How are we to know it wasn't planted evidence?
Reasoning and bring this performance. Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired soul credit and prepared to do ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward... Am I right?
Wait.
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning.
Objection, Your Honor. Why would he want sole credit?
I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny.
What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rosula has made the necessary arrangements, but as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire...
Oh god. How would this even work? Wait. Do I need to... forgot. Does this need to be done by her perspective?
Seems this won't.
Okay.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was.
I swear I'll figure this out.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between. Lillian was a.
And it's Ace Detective! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume truck.
Okay. Ace Attorney Paimon.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So,
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped two of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
Oh, that's where two of them went.
at this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
So that's the whole. Bravo!
Take that, Farina.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish... Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again... The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the... With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman, to cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young... He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian, thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the...
Now, does that also mean that the
While
other
there is
girl...
much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Okay, but before all of this, does the other girl go off scot-free because... Or, actually, no, I think it would technically be involuntary manslaughter. No, that wouldn't be right. He killed himself. I don't know, this is too... All this courtroom talk is making me... Just want to die.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared.
Great work, Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an How did you find the water from the primordial sea?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know! Or was that not a discovery?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not... I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity.
And now that your plan has
The
fallen
higher-ups
through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become alive. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people... It can also be made into a potion, which, when extremely diluted, can cause people to... We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Who?
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Oh my Jesus.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you... But still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after, I guess. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave,
The knave? The one who controls the...
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure... I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after...
So you went from orphans to...
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate... But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would...
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than
It took a while for me to realize. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette... I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant.
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the knave...
So, she'd already...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement.
Oh, Jesus.
All of them orphans. Father, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me the House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to...
So, she believes in that...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to... Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of... All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't to us orphans. The only connection we have left...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never... If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you.
I understand. Later.
Bye, Linny.
So do I get to be with Goth Yola now?
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack it? And given that there's new evidence from the...
Ah, I see. Well, sorry.
Don't say that.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know...
Huh? Do we really need to get that?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper end. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if...
Oh, wonderful. In that case...
Shut up, you greasy mutt. Swear to God, food driven like a dog. Yay! Finally done. Let's go. Alright. Well, with that... that is gonna be our time today. I know it wasn't for I know it wasn't for long. But yeah. That's gonna end it for today. I will see you guys later. Peace.